Lindsay and I just pulled off the highway and we are getting ready for our tour of Butler Wash. This is a really popular, kind of well-known for the area, area full of, oh, it's bright out today, full of Indian ruins and different artifacts and things you can see along the way, in a kind of a beautiful country drive. And it runs parallel with Comb Ridge, which is this huge rock outcropping you can kind of see out the window here, that runs for, I hear, about 80 miles from north to south and south to north. And we're going to kind of follow parallel with that up Butler Wash, which is Highway or Utah 262. Dirt road, you know, of course, obviously anything that's not a main road is a dirt road around here. But we're going to go hopefully see some really cool Indian ruins. It is super hot today, so it is, you can see this, 108 degrees right now. Got about 20-mile-an-hour winds, and we're heading off into the middle of the desert. So we took extra precautions with some extra water, some extra food, and hopefully we don't have any breakdowns or any kind of major issues.
We just arrived to the first pull-off, and we're getting ready to walk out to Wolfman Panel. After a couple of wrong turns, we made it to the Wolfman Panel.
There's a bunch of stuff down here.
A little tricky. And I've broke my glasses, so they keep falling down.
We just made the hike out to Double Stack Ruins. It's quite the hike, especially when it's 119 out, which is the last temperature I saw when we got out of the Jeep. But it is absolutely beautiful here in this kind of cliff overhang. You're in the shade now. Feels so much better, and these ruins are just amazing. There's actually a fence around the whole thing, but there's a sign down towards the wall that actually allows you to enter, which is nice because you get up close and personal to these. But if you ever come here, don't touch anything. You know, leave it all alone, because I mean, these things look like they could fall down any day, and want to preserve them as best we can. But it's a gorgeous place. Hike was fairly easy except for the heat. Definitely bring lots of water if you come here in the summer. There was one spot towards the end when you get really close to the area where it looks like the trail disappears, but you can kind of see like somewhat of a teepee structure come up out of the ground. Looks like burnt wood. Just head up towards that and you'll find the trail again. It's pretty overgrown. It must get wet down here in the rainy season, but well worth the hike. I think this is probably going to be our last one of the day. This is only our second one on our trip up Butler Wash, and it's just way too hot to be out here. It's kind of dangerous heat, so I think we're going to call it for today and head back to the Jeep. We made it safe and sound back to the Jeep. Definitely awesome hike. Very cool spot to check out some old Indian ruins. It's way too hot to be out here though. Current temperature, 121. Well, we left Butler Wash and decided to keep driving around a little bit just to see what else you might find. And we went right across the main road, 161 or 163, whatever it is, and followed the signs toward the airport. And there actually is a tiny little airport out here. And we were getting ready to basically turn around when we saw a small sign that said Gold Mine Access Road. And I'm like, oh, I'd like to go see a gold mine. So we just kept following it and following it and following it, and look where it took us, right to the San Juan River. So on the way down, we went through some pretty rough roads. Definitely need a four-wheel drive high clearance vehicle to get down here, but it's not too bad. And kind of snakes around. There's one spot where you come down a hill that gets a little rough, and then a little bit of driving on some slick rocks. But all in all, it was a pretty nice drive. And it takes you all the way down to the river, which is really cool. Except for the fact that I looked at our mirror to see what the temperature was when we dropped down the hill, and it said 140 degrees. 140. Kind of hard to believe. Doesn't feel like it here, but it was still reading 137 when we got down to the water. So it is definitely hot out tonight.
Since moving to Utah, we've had to learn a lot of different things, a lot of new things, and this trip to Bluff, it's no different. One of the things that we've had to learn is about the gates. So there are lots of dirt roads and back roads, off roads, and there are all these gates. And typically, when I would see a gate, I would think that's someplace that you're not supposed to go. But what we've been told is you just go through the gate, and if it's open, then you leave it open, and if it's closed, then you close it behind you.
Yeah, most of the gates are here because there's a lot of open range around the area. So cattle will just graze kind of wherever they feel like it, or there's horses running around. So they just want to kind of control where they go somewhat, and just kind of control access in and out of areas. So it's, unless you see something marked private property, you can pretty much go in it, but just be respectful and try to stay on the roads.